Mayor Pete, we're hearing from the Trump campaign that he has support and that apparently approximately 20% of black men will be voting for him, which I just want to know what you think about that, because I haven't been able to discern where those polls are coming from. But Joe Biden has also been criticized for not doing enough to connect with minority voters. So what do you think about all of that?
So, like most things Donald Trump says, I would want to check that. And you look at the numbers, and it's just not supported. There's no evidence of that. We'll know for sure on the other side, but that's just not consistent with anything we've been seeing on the ground. I mean, when you got the president of the United States can't bring himself to say that Black Lives Matter, tells a white supremacist group to stand by. I mean, there's just no way. He's definitely trying because he understands how important black voters are to this country and to the electorate. But so does Joe Biden. After all, remember, the main reason that Joe Biden was able to become the nominee at the moment that he did, really consolidate so much support as he came out of South Carolina, was the trust that he had built up with black voters who knew him throughout his entire time in public service. And I think we're going to see that reflected in the general election, just like we saw it in the primary. I don't know that anybody has felt the pain of 2020 and of the Trump era more than black voters who have been disproportionately harmed by COVID, singled out for discrimination in so many ways. And at the same time, I think there's a sense of hope that this country might finally beat back this demon of white supremacy that has really been eating at the foundation of America from before day one. That could actually happen in our lifetime if we have the right leadership and if we acknowledge the realities about racism in this country. That's something that we could actually move forward on, but not with Donald Trump in the White House.
Mayor, this is more of a personal question, less political. Your faith is very important to you. Pope Francis recently said he was in favor of civil unions protections for gay couples. As a man of faith, a married man of faith, how does that make you feel? What did it mean to you?
It means a lot. I'm Episcopalian, but I live in a largely Catholic community. A lot of the students I teach at Notre Dame, some of them really struggle with their identity because they know that they are LGBTQ and they're also Catholic. And this is opening the door to acceptance in a remarkable way. Now, I know to some people, some folks might be thinking, well, what does that mean? That's not a big deal. I mean, we're already doing marriage equality is the law of the land in the United States, and he's talking about civil unions. But you got to recognize, first of all, what a big step that is toward acceptance and support. He actually said he supports this from the perspective of where the Catholic Church has been. And secondly, understand that when the Pope says that, he's speaking to the entire world. There are countries that throw people in jail or worse just because of who they love. And I think this is a powerful message, especially for countries or places where people who do that harm somehow think that they're doing that in the service of religion, when everything, and certainly my own Christian faith, points to compassion and dignity and decency as the core of how we're supposed to treat each other. So I think it was a big deal. I think it was good news, and I'm eager to see what it's going to lead to in the church and around the world.
Mayor, there are still undecided voters out there. And to anyone watching at home right now thinking they might sit this election out, what do you want to say to them?
So if you're undecided right now, it's probably because you're used to voting one way. Maybe you're a lifelong Republican. Maybe you grew up in a family or a community where being Republican was considered the same thing as being patriotic or being a person of faith. But right now you see that just is not who Donald Trump is. And I'm inviting you to join the many Republicans who are standing alongside independents and Democrats to get Joe Biden elected. Or maybe you're just deciding whether to vote, whether it's worth the trouble, whether you got a lot going on, you're busy, and you're hearing about lines maybe. And I'm here to tell you just how much it matters. This election will go down in history as one that decided how things unfold in America for the rest of our lives. And it could come down to just a few votes per precinct in just a few states around the country. You can get great, and if you're worried that you just don't have all the information, you can go to iwillvote.com. There's great information there, state by state. You can check on your registration, figure out how and where to vote. Please, please exercise that right. As somebody who served in the military, I think so much about the price that so many have paid to make it possible for us to have this democracy in America.
Yeah.
That the biggest moment a democracy has is this election day that we're living through as we speak.
It's an amazing point in time every 4 years. Thanks to you, Mayor Pete Buttigieg.